Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker, and I have a match today for Wargame European Escalation between the blue player representing the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. His name is Enohka, and his opponent is FR-niwo. Niwo. Maybe it's Niwo. Niwo is about 2100 rated ELO, and Enohka, of course, also around 2100. Both top players in the game. The difference is that Enohka has beta keys and Niwo does not. Niwo, of course, trying to earn his way into the beta. Once again, very significant, very potent player. Didn't make much of a performance in the Wargame Cup, but a lot of players have kind of made their post-Wargame Cup findings. They follow the Wargame Cup, they study the styles, they try to figure out their own, and now that we're into the new patch, a lot of people are doing very, very well. This is part of the Wargame Cup Beta Challenge series. This was a series of games that was designed to give out beta keys. The beta keys were already given out, so you know, this is a non-important match right now, but it is the best Wargame action currently available in this new patch. This will be the last in the series. The series will come to an end. Basically, most of the good games I've covered, the ones that are either too old or from the old patch, or they're just not very good. But we will have lots of excitement coming up. There is a beta coming up, I believe, soon. If you want to get into this, make sure to follow on Twitter at Wargame RTS, at Focus Home, and don't forget little at _troublmaker. That would be me. I'll be retweeting all of the beta keys and whatnot that that Eugen Systems is throwing out for the upcoming beta. It also helps to sign up for their forums. It'll help out quite a bit, because their forums is they pick up a lot of players from their forums, just grab them. So that's another great place to go for some beta keys. Speaking of which, let's look at the build of Niwo, and Niwo is gone for a power grouping that I use, the Jalo and the T80. These two guys together do really, really good. The Jalo slightly armored, does high amounts of damage, and the T80 very, very long range. And I don't use this amount of them though. I usually add in some T55 because I like rushing. This, however, doesn't look like it's a rush. We have one command number placed here, which means he's going to try and grab Echo, and he has another command number placed here, meaning he's going to try and grab Delta with the future of grabbing Golf once he can secure it. From Enohka, we're seeing some helicopters. These might be for spotting. I don't know if these are for the actual engagement. Lots of these AMX 30Bs, which are very preferential. Double OFI, which is kind of crazy. He doesn't have an FOB either, so he's getting two artillery units with no FOB. So this will cost him quite a bit in the long term. This is used so you can get more units of some sort, maybe to get an extra artillery unit. It's hard to say whether that's actually worthwhile or not. And lots of infantry and a few of these big tanks. The Chieftain Mark 10 has sort of made a comeback in the patch. Never was that good before. And of course this big heavy tank, the Leopard 2A4, a beastly tank. I've never seen a Niwo game. I'll say that off the bat. I've never. Oh, he's actually going for double Malka, so there's an even amount of artillery. I've never seen a Niwo game. I have no idea what he's going to do. I have no idea what style he favors, but it looks like he's going to play fairly safe. Enohka, yes, he's going to use these gunship helicopters to kind of spot off this side flank here as he rushes towards the middle. And yes, another gunship helicopter spotting this side here. So this is a very common use of helicopters. And here's the question: does it work? Will he see this? Or more importantly, does he need more of these? No, these gunships should be split up a little better than this. And boom, there you go. The proof is in the pudding. He spots these infantry drops, and it looks like there's going to be two of them. Now, of course, this is from Niwo, presuming that Enohka will automatically go for this base. In fact, he could also go for this hotel base and have the same value as of right now. He will have to eventually clean up these infantries with some infantries. But here we go, a nice little battle going on. We got some transport helicopters leading the fray, and these infantries of Enohka might get caught off guard. This center of the map location is kind of an infantry battleground. If you can get infantry in there, you're very good. But it looks like we're going to see a pivoting move around the middle here by Niwo. This place is very, very annoying because you can kind of peek in and out with your anti-infantry vehicles and get some shots off and then clear. Get some shots off and clear before one of these tank destroyers can wind up and fire. Otherwise, he's got another shallow on this side, trying to pick off vehicles from this flank. So he's got a nice surround. Also, Malka's loading up and firing. What they're firing on, who knows? Looks like a miss is what they're firing on. Just to kind of clear so these infantry can jump in here, grab this force location, and make sure that Enohka will not be able to secure this. Now we do see some Ophies counter barraging. Looks like they're going to try and hit the shallow, and a few nice hits there. Gets 3 hit points off of 3 units, and the VDV squads do successfully land here. Looks like Enohka's going to move his command here to Bravo regardless, and we're going to see a small engagement here. Riflemen versus, I'm going to say, Motul Strelki. Seems like the appropriate unit here, and boom! Good guess, Troublemaker. Most of the tanks of Niwo have been forced to pull back, so this is really a major engagement right now. This force is has a minor importance because if this force is grabbed, he can bring in some anti-tank teams and take it the command armor. He can also take his BTR-60 pies and chase after the Sultan. And he will clear these riflemen. Riflemen are not a very powerful rifle squad. Never have. Probably never will be. And these motor stroke, he cleared them out with relative ease. A Chieftain Mark 10 comes in to aid some support though. Now keep in mind there's a lot of artillery on the map, so most infantry style plays won't be very good. In fact, here's an odd one. Niwo is actually shelling out his own units. No, he's shelling out this Sultan. And here we go, Ophi being, Enohka, shelling out these infantry units. Now keep in mind, he still doesn't know this is here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows it's there, but I don't think he knows it's there. Like, I don't think he knows that there's 2 VDV squads here, and that he doesn't really have any infantry to deal with. He has, like, lots of Lod Stingers and these M113 carriers, but that's it. That's not a lot. So Niwo getting off to a very, very good start. Already has a 180-point lead. Now keep in mind, Enohka, this entire series, has been a guy who plays from behind. He takes the risk, grabs high point bases, takes significant losses early on, and then makes a comeback. And that's been something that he's been doing every game. When, whoa, here we go, a large amount of helicopters here. Enohka does in fact spot it all, and he's going to be able to respond effectively to this. There's also a helicopter coming around here as well. Now, this Sultan could be in trouble if these helicopters can do the damage that they normally do. A Martyr Roland 2 gets rallied out here by Enohka, and the VDV squads are moving up a little bit, and the Sultan is going to get pulled back, and the Martyr Roland 2 should be able to snag this transport helicopter relatively easy. So already we're seeing minor comeback here by Enohka, able to lick, I believe is the expression, lick those helicopters good. Mind my stutter. And the VDD squad should go down. I mean, there are lots of vehicles here supporting, so that's reasonable. And there's also another squad going here, so I always find VDV squads a little unique and odd. I know it's actually good to do this. This actually works and it does well. I just find them odd. Like, you drop a VDV instead of a recon. But the benefit here is that if you drop a VDV and you get the neck, you don't get the bottom transfer helicopter, because that one's shit. That one is crap. Instead, what you get is the second one down, which gets you rockets. And so when you drop your VDVs off, now you also have some helicopters that drop rockets. And so we have a flock of helicopters just sitting over here like, oh crap, he's got an anti-air unit now. And a big one. This is a really big one. He hasn't had one this big on the map, I don't believe. He's had a lot of these Lod Stingers, which are cheap. Not quite effective, but he's had a lot of them. By the way, all these infantry cleaned up by artillery, and a little bit of help from your friends, the Leopard 2A4. So where do you go from here if you are in Niwo's particular situation? Note that Enohka on the map has a 6 points worth of base, and Niwo has 4. It's not as big as some gaps, but that's big enough so that in 20 minutes there'll be a clear-cut advantage for Enohka. So for Niwo, he's going to have to do some damages, or yes, expand. Those are like clear-cut ways for him to win this game. Expanding becomes very, very risky on this map, however, for him, because this Gulf base is covered in tank destroyers. This Juliet base has a gunship helicopter here spotting, and there's no real roadway, and by roadway I mean a path like these. There's no roadway that safely leads from the Juliet for him. There's this one here, which goes straight from the reinforcement point, but it's not all that direct. There's none that cuts through right here, which is where you want them. Because in order for him to reinforce, he'd have to go, let's go like right up here, down the major highway to right here. That's a very, very long reinforcement point. All the while, the attack from Enohka will go something like this. Here. Very, very quick, much faster attack path for every single expansion location for Enohka. And so I don't really think that Niwo will expand. It's just not a good choice right now. And looks like a misrally here. Says, sup, yes, I have some anti-tank teams, and I'm going to show them to you, and then I'm going to run away with them. Of course, Enohka doesn't necessarily know it's an anti-tank team. BTR-60 Pies do cover other things like Moto Stroki. And from Enohka, he's rallying a lot of expensive units. These 2A4s, very, very expensive. You have to beg for these. And basically, the more of these heavy tanks you get, the better you're going to do. That's generally the new metagame. If heavy tanks perform insanely well versus almost everything. And so there's a huge advantage to early on getting 1 or 2 of them. And then a bunch of medium tanks. And then or later on getting just a lot of heavy tanks. We're seeing a little bit of range wars here. And note with a range war, here's what I do. I go, info units. What's the range on this guy? Oh, look at that, 2625. What's the range on this guy? Oh, look at that. Actually, it's lower. 2275. He brings up the spot. He immediately does this. The T80 will pull back. Now, if you had a T80U, you could pick those up easily. Just saying. T80U, 180 point tank. 180 point paperweight. This is one part where people believe that NATO have a serious advantage. Their units seem to have a high range, and the disadvantage to NATO 4 was a lack of anti-air options, and they sort of have those now. And this is kind of left packed in the crapper, so to speak. Note that Niwo has basically done the opposite of what I said as far as the tactic goes, which is also fine. He opened up with 2 T80s and a lot of these Jalos, and he's moved into medium tanks. He's done the complete opposite. So these guys will get to the exact same place as lots of heavy tanks with medium tank support, but they're doing it different ways. And here's weird, a third Mulka. Now keep in mind, these Mulkas currently are not firing non-stop. I'm not a huge fan of artillery. And I don't mean like, oh, I hate when people artillery me. I just don't like using them. I like 1 or 2. But I find that a lot of the better players in late game just stack up stupid amounts of artillery. A map like this, in which all your forces are going to be around here, artillery does pretty well. But if this point in the map was not taken, and instead of these guys taking this one and this one and this one and this one, you know, high distance, there would be no value to artillery. I can kind of see why you might want to use artillery here, but it doesn't pay out as well as people think it does. Artillery is one of these things where it's got to have a certain points per second value. So, like, look in the Mulka, that's 90. Transfer tucks are 15 each. So, you're going to go through about say 20 supply, or not 20 supply, 20 points worth of supply per minute. So that means every minute you have to kill at least 30. Just keep in mind you got the 90 point here before it'll even make sense until the 10-minute marker. So if you're not hitting things that are 30 points each, this investment has not paid off. Now it gets worse because the more of these Malkas you have, the worse it gets. If you have 3 Malka, you have to be destroying pretty much 90 points worth of units per minute for it to make sense. Because every single time you rally out an artillery unit, that's less an army you have. And speaking of, here's a sneaky devil with 3 Moto Strelki squads. He comes in, steals the MD Jupiters, of course, not actually a good move. And he's going to jump in here and grab these carriers. The MD Jupiters, of course, can be killed by Enohka for points. And he's going to drop a rep squad. That's weird. And Niwo, so smart, going to throw the Jupiters back towards Enohka, realizing that, you know, these vehicles are there for a purpose. And very quickly Enohka pulls his tank destroyers out of the woods, pulls his martyr roll into, and this is another place that Enohka will clear out. Now these kind of attacks are not going to be as effective because of the double Ophies. The Ophies will be able to clear out this force relatively quickly with very solid patient play. Enohka's been slowly clawing his way out. His artillery fire has been a little bit better than Niwo's. He's only 90 points behind. And this stuff here is actually going to put Niwo further behind just because of how much artillery is on the map. Tank destroyers are moving in oddly. Niwo got one. That's good. And here comes the artillery as per expectation, and they just absolutely devastate the infantry. Yeah, he cleared out this woods, but the artillery are just too good. Too absolutely good. And all the Malkas are firing up now, all 3 of them. And like I said, if he's not getting 90 points per minute with this will not work out. Now, I'll be fair, if he can keep these Malkas firing for all like 20 minutes of the game, you'd only have to get 45 points per minute for the game for them to make sense. But that's still a lot of points to get. I mean, there's not that much infantry on the map. And people can check my math. It is right. I'm absolutely good at math. And it also has a lot to do with the combination of this. I mean, it's slightly less points of kills per minute if you use cheaper supply trucks. These are some of the most expensive ones. But it doesn't get that much better. That's absolutely for certain. So Enohka rallying in more infantry, gets more of these chieftain Mark 10s. Actually has a small flock of the UH-1C hog here. This is something he likes at the end of the game, using a lot of these hogs. They're very anti-cheese weapons, because a lot of times when the match is almost over, people like to cheese. Now, of course, we're still 25 minutes into this game, and Enohka has a lot of ground to make, but if he can get this T-80, that would be huge. But no, just really, really solid shooting there by Niwo. Even saw a little bit of a kite back there in the fear of an infantry. And here comes another infantry attack. I'm pretty sure this will be for nothing at all. And looks like we're going to see a spread of infantry trying to grab little facilities like this. This is a good place to go. To propane factory, apparently. And we're going to see a little bit of artillery barrage back and forth. Enohka might try to make a push. It's hard to tell. Enohka's actually making a pretty solid comeback because Niwo has been throwing forces at him erratically. Oh, we've seen a little leopard movement here. A small push forward. Oh my god, no, the support vehicle. Ah, those were expensive. That's actually the tipping point. You can't lose expensive support vehicles. Whew. That was huge. 100-point difference now in favor of Enohka because those 2 support vehicles. Niwo's in a lot of trouble. Before he was attacking in because he had higher points. Now he doesn't. And this is when he needs to attack in, but he's kind of already proven that he's not very effective at attacking into a fortified Enohka. And keep in mind, this is kind of how Enohka's been winning his games. Very efficient defenses, small pickoffs has been how he's been winning his games. So this is going to be something. Malkas are... Like, there's a lot of infantry here in this front location, but there's never going to be enough to make sense of this. I mean, they're not even killing, actually. Like, they're not doing all that well like Enohka's. When Enohka had his firing here, they just one-shotted infantry. But these Malka are just bottom of the barreling it. And looking at these rifleman squads, like, some of them have one. This one has 4. It's taking a little bit of a beating, but mostly in good position. So I don't see with his current group of units and Enohka's current group of units how he can possibly come back. I know he can't make an attack. That would not make sense. There's too many heavy tanks out. He's going to try and use a gunship helicopter to pick up something, but that looks like danger. There is a Leopard 2A4 here. The vision of Niwo is not terribly good, but you can see the Leopard. And you see Enohka is just playing very solid as per usual. Solid defensive play with a little bit of picking off units. Recon has been very, very helpful to him here. And you can see it, Enohka's vision actually not that much better. In fact, a little bit worse. And that's a little frightening considering how many recon units he actually has on the map. I mean, he has this mutt here, he has a recon helicopter, he has another mutt right here. That should give him some vision of something. And BMP 1P coming in with some long range tank destroyer shots, pushing away the tanks, and this gives responsitory attacks. Oh, a small attack here into the woods. This is a location that Niwo has had for quite some time. He has fortified it with infantry so this tank can do a lot more damage, and Enohka is actually going to make a push, but he actually pulled back. Now keep in mind though, Enohka is actually so far ahead right now that this just doesn't matter. He could actually lose 3 heavy tanks right now, and it wouldn't matter. And here comes another last minute infantry attack here from Niwo. He's going to fizzle in and possibly fizzle out. Goes straight down the line and loses everything. Didn't do any damage there, so that will end it. He doesn't really have the ability to do anything. He's pulling out another artillery unit. Delta, I believe. I believe it was Delta. Or maybe it was a Luca, who was able to kill a two command members in a row with 2 lucky artillery shots. Possibly the luckiest game in the history of Wargame European Escalation. And here's an interesting look. A 2-shot pistol. That's what we call these. It's a recon unit with rockets on it. Don't do a ton of damage. Don't have a huge ammo capacity. And yeah, I believe this will be it. No last minute pushes coming up. And yeah, too many artillery units from Niwo, not enough tactics. And Enohka, just solid defensive play, solid macro style play. He's going to pull back his command member just in case. Doesn't want to get shelled out by these mass Malkas. Well, that's the last game of this series from me. Of course, these are 2 high-rated players. I will have more Wargame European Escalation matches. They'll just be more recent, more relevant. If you want to only get the Wargame stuff, make sure to subscribe to my playlist. I think it's called Wargame Matches. And you can also subscribe to my channel for other great content. And definitely make sure to like this video. If you don't, clearly you are a communist. And as you know, communists lose. Thanks for watching.